Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brennan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Akaunting, which is an online accounting software designed for small businesses, again, as you can see here, to manage your finances and stay on top of your cash flow. Now, Akaunting does also offer invoicing and the ability to accept online payments in order to keep track of your business expenses, as you can see here listed on the Akaunting website. Again, they list it as Easy Accounting. Now, I've covered a lot of different accounting softwares here on the channel, and Akaunting is one of them, of course, that has both free and paid plans. Now, in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to get started with accounting step by step in a beginner fashion, again, in this beginner tutorial. I'm also going to be going through the pricing plans and giving you just a general overview of accounting. So first things first, of course, Akaunting is an accounting software. It is accounting with a K. As you can see here, it is spelled a little bit differently, so I guess you would still pronounce it as accounting. So it is an accounting software, again, that you can use to manage your business finances. This works for self-employed, if you have employees, wide variety of different types of businesses that can benefit from using this software. You can track your overall cash flow, again, your income and your expenses, and will automatically graph it in their charts, and just to give you a good way to, keep track of those business income and expenses. And to see exactly where you are within your business. Again, you can link multiple different bank accounts. You can have multiple companies. We'll get into the more of the different specifics, as well as taking a dive into, again, the dashboard and taking a look at the back end of what accounting looks like and how you can get started using them. Now, again, I do want to emphasize, of course, there is both a free version and a paid version. Now, when you are getting started, those two versions do split into the cloud, which is their recommended version, which is the paid version, because you're able to start using accounting on their servers instantly. Most accounting softwares today are cloud based, so you're able to sign in and just boom, start using it on their servers. Now, they do have a free version that you can download and install on your own server, but this is a little bit more involved, a little bit more complicated. You do need some web hosting experience in order to install accounting on your own web hosting server in order to use it. Basically, when you download it, it just gives you a basic zip file with all the information. So that is a free way to do it. Is a little bit more of a headache and a hassle. And you are going to have to pay for web hosting as well. So depending on your situation, maybe you already have web hosting experience. You might want to download the free version that way. If you are looking for the free version, that is how it exists in that capacity, is the free version. Now, in this tutorial, we're going to just be looking at the cloud version because it is the easiest way to get started, of course. But I imagine that the software should be fairly similar. Again, just the cloud versus the on-premise version. Do just bear in mind that it is, again, a little bit harder to get started with. If you are just chasing the free version, then that is where you get it. You just click the Get Started button. It will take you to this page here where you can download the free version if you're interested in that. The cloud version, in terms of the pricing for the cloud version, again, they do have a few different plans. Now, again, this pricing is always subject to change depending on when you're watching this video. Always have to make that disclaimer. They have it in monthly and yearly plans. Again, a certain amount of months may be free if you're on the yearly plan. They also have a free trial as well, like a 7-day free trial. So just bear that in mind as well, depending on what you're looking for out of an accounting software, how many companies you may have. I'm not going to be diving into too much about the different plans, specifically here in this video. Most of it breaks down by company and users, and how many invoices you're going to have, generally speaking. Everything else is all the basics are included, even just on the standard cloud version. So they break it out pretty clear here on the pricing page. Again, if you do need full, comparisons, I will leave a link to Akaunting, of course, in the video description if you do need to go through some of the other, specific differences. But again, this video is primarily focused for beginners, just getting started, showing you, what you could expect from the accounting software. Again, more in a traditional sense, hosted on accounting with their standard cloud software. So let's assume you're going with the cloud version. You are getting signed up. This is what the dashboard would look like. So as you can see here, we have Joe Schmo, the company that I always use for all these tutorials, Joe Schmo LLC or whatnot. So this is what the dashboard looks like for Akaunting. So as you can see here, you do have your incoming, your outgoing, your profit, your overall cash flow statement, accounts receivables and payables. So that is if you're going to be issuing out invoices in your business. Again, a lot of companies do issue invoices in order to get paid. You can also link your bank accounts here as well if you're going to be linking bank accounts, if you're going to be doing that in the accounting software. So you can link bank accounts. Now, in this tutorial, we're just going to be focusing primarily just on a cash account that we're going to be adding in transactions manually. Again, if you want to do that, then great. If you want to just do it manually, alternatively, you can also add and connect your bank accounts in here to import those transactions automatically. Again, it is important that you are logging your transactions, whether that's your income and your expenses. That's the whole point of an accounting software, really, at the end of the day. So we're just going to be adding those in manually here in this tutorial. But as you can see here, again, the accounting software, you have the ability to add multiple companies. Now, again, there is only one company on the base version, and you can manage your companies here from their dashboard. If you are going to be managing multiple different companies, you can easily switch between those there. Next, you also have, again, items. If you are going to be managing, like multiple different items that you sell. This is important if you're creating like invoices and things like that. If you're maybe managing stock or variance, maybe if you're in e-commerce, things like that. Depends on the extent of what you're going to be using the accounting software for, and how complicated your business is as far as how much you need to necessarily use the items and services for creating invoices or bills and things like that. But they do have those options within the software here as well. So I figured I would show you those there. Now, you do also have the ability to create invoices, add customers, create estimates, and I'll be showing you, how to create an invoice. But first, I do want to show you what it looks like when you're going in and just adding a simple transaction to sort of show you what it looks like more just as an accounting software. Again, it is also sort of a business management software as well, beyond just accounting, again, because you can manage other aspects of your business, like I said, with the inventory tracking, as well as issuing invoices. So you do have also that ability here within the software. So if we go over here to new, we're just going to go ahead and mark an income and an expense. We're going to be starting with income, and then we'll get into expenses in just a moment. So all you're doing, and this is if you're doing it manually. Again, if you want to import transactions automatically, you can connect your bank account. I get not necessarily everybody wants to do that, but they do have that option here. So we have cash. So let's just say, sure, today's date, cash amount, and let's just say we earned, $1,300. Maybe we cut a lot of lawns for this guy or this huge apartment complex or something like that, right? Let's just say like lawn care is the income here, so $1,300, and it is a deposit. Now you can connect it to certain customers. Again, we don't have any customers entered here. You also have numbers. Now, a lot of this information will be auto-populated by your bank when you're going to be connecting a bank account. Again, if you're doing it manually, you can also add other attachments and things like that as well if you need to. So as you can see here, this is the transaction that we have created, as well as the receipt of the transaction. Now we're going to go back to the dashboard. And as you can see, now it has populated with that incoming $1,300 for the month of July of this year, of course. Now, again, depending on when you're watching this video, this is just currently, as of making the tutorial, you see the income is here for this year and month. And we're going to go ahead and add an expense as well. Now, expenses are a little bit more detailed as far as when you're going to be adding them into your accounting software. So you have your expense. We're going to go over to expense. Now, it does help when you are, or if you plan on connecting a bank account, that you are connecting a singular business bank account. It will help you a lot when it comes down to your transactions, so that you're not sifting through, maybe business and personal transactions. If you are, self-employed, this really is aimed for, business owners that have a separate bank account. That's what this software is sort of aimed towards, more advanced business owners. If you're looking for other self-employed software, there are things like that. You will just have to sift through the transactions a little bit more. If you are using maybe a bank account that you are sifting between different transactions, depending on how your business is set up, that's fine. It's just make your accounting life a little bit more challenging. So another aspect here, so we're going to go ahead and add in the expense. Now, when you're going in and adding your expenses, again, we're just going to keep it under the same account. And the amount is going to be, let's just say $30 to start. Something small. We're going to add in a few. And then you go down to category. And as you can see here, you have other and or new category. So as you can see here, you have, again, the different categories of, transactions under a vendor. So this is an expense. Now, here is where you're going to want to make sure that you are logging things under the proper IRS guidelines as far as different categories. Now, again, as in here, they don't actually have them pre-added, which is kind of a negative here for accounting, especially compared to a lot of other accounting softwares do tend to have the categories in here. But that isn't necessarily the end of the world, because I do get that some of the other accounting softwares also have old categories that aren't really necessarily recommended by or currently recognized by the IRS. So it does depend on your country as to what categories are applicable to your business. Now, make sure you follow your company and your country, more specifically your country's guidelines around small business deductions and categories. Now, if you're in the United States, typically you have things like meals, right? Meals is something that you would have as a category. So we're going to go ahead and add that in here. Have to search it. Of course, we need to add a new category. So this one would be the meals category, and we'll leave it as the, I guess we could go pink. So we're going to go ahead and save that there. So you will have to add in your categories manually, which is slightly annoying. However, it isn't the end of the world, again, because then you have more control over what categories actually show up. Again, making sure that they are accurate to your business as well can be helpful, kind of making, so it's a little bit of a pro and con there, in terms of maybe making it helpful for you to actually know what your categories are within your business. And then going in and adding them. So we're just going to go ahead and save. Now you can add attachments here, reference numbers, things like that as well. We're going to go back to the dashboard now that we've added that. And as you can see here, we do have that $30 expense to meals, and it is logged as an expense. So as you can see here, you have your income and your expenses logged, and your overall cash account, as you can see here, is now at $1,270 because you have your meals expense and you have your overall $1,300 in income. Now, when you're going in and logging things as well, another thing to keep in mind under your transactions when you're going in and logging them, again, under your expenses, it is important that you do track these properly and accurately to your business expenses so that come tax time, you already have everything categorized and everything will be just a lot easier for you when you go and file your taxes. So, let's just say you had a $200 expense here in the business, and you're going to label that category as marketing expense. We're just going to add a new category. We're going to label it as marketing. So there's a lot of different categories that things can be classified in your business. As long as it is a reasonable expense in your business, you shouldn't really have a problem in terms of when it comes tax time and you're dumping in all of your different categories of expenses. It is just important that you do categorize these because they are deducted at different rates. So like a meals expense, for example, currently is only a 50% deduction because the IRS is like, hey, you still have to eat. So they're not really giving you that full deduction. Whereas a marketing expense, that's a 100% deduction because it is a direct expense in your business in order for you to earn money. Maybe it be for web hosting could also fall under marketing. So maybe you have a website for your business and you're paying that expense for your website. That could be counted as marketing. So there's a lot of different ways, that you can categorize things. I would just recommend reading through the IRS guidelines if you are in the United States, or again, if you are, in other countries, make sure you brush up on your specific country's categories when you're going through and categorizing these things. This is probably the most important aspect when you're going through and using your accounting software. So again, we have, let's just say $200 there. It's all labeled under the same day. We now have that transaction here, and we're going to go back to the dashboard. And as you can see here now, we have it logged as, $230 outgoing, $1,300 incoming. And so you can see, expenses will be broken down by category as well, which is a nice report that you do get here on the dashboard as well. So you have your meals, marketing, just go in and add in your categories as you see fit. Do just make sure that they do make sense within your business and within the overall guidelines, again, because they are not configured in here. You will have to add them in manually. So again, you have your income and your expenses. Now you can also view other profit and loss reports within the accounting setup. So as you can see here, this is the current year. This is broken down quarterly. You can do it on the accrual basis, which is essentially it will count money that is currently invoiced out to potential customers, and then that will show so that when you get paid, that accrual accounting, it's already accounting for the money that you are owed to your business. So this is overall deposit-based income. Again, we have $1,300 between July and September. So this is quarterly basis, broken down on quarterly periods within the business, as well as the date range of this year. So there are other filters that you can do. You can even download a PDF, schedule out reports and things like that. This is the default profit and loss report, quarterly profit and losses. You can see a look at your net profit, your overall total for your expenses, as well as your income. Again, make sure you break out your expenses by the categories that make sense for you. And then you can, get more insights in your business as well as where, the different expenses are, you're seeing them within your business as well. So that is the overall profit and loss statement within the reports feature here. Now, there are a lot of other reports that you can add in here. You can also favorite reports. So if you're going to want to maybe pin certain reports like income and expenses, your income summary, maybe by different categories. Now, we don't have any other categories such as invoicing. We just have deposits that are made as like a direct cash deposit, $1,300 to the cash account. You can break it out by, timeline or by a circular graph here. A pie chart is what that is. So you can break them out in different ways as well if you want. Again, we just have, the date range currently of this year and that. And then you can also, break things out by certain category, equals, deposit or sales. You can close out different things here if you do want to change them. So maybe the date range, you want it equal to year to date, you can change that there. That's how you go about changing the periods and the basises here. So maybe if you want the basis to be cash based, you would enter that filter there. So the difference there with a cash basis is that it's only recognizing the money that is currently deposited in your business bank accounts. It's not accounting for money that is yet to be deposited to your business. That's the difference there within the basis of cash versus accrual accounting. You also have, if you want to filter by certain customers, again, we don't have any customers entered here, but you can do that. You also have, again, like I said, the categories, specific periods, monthly, quarterly, all that you can filter here within the reports section. Additionally, you also have, your overall quarterly profit and loss, quarterly tax summary, income, expenses, and your expense summary. So let's go ahead and take a look at the expense summary. As you can see here, it is broken out there. Again, the date range, the period, the basis is all by default there, and you can go in and change that if you would like to. Maybe you just want the category to just show the meals, just to show meals. Then, that's how you enter that there, and you can set different things. You can also clear the filters, and schedule certain reports, export them, print them as well. Download a PDF, edit, delete it. So those are the overall reports that you have available within the accounting software. Next, again, like I said before, you do have different bank accounts that you can set up. Now, again, we don't have any bank accounts currently listed. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into the overall invoicing and billing section. So in terms of adding in invoices, this is where you will do that here. So we're going to go ahead and create a new invoice. Essentially, you can title your invoices. You can go ahead and add in, your business details such as your address, your logo here. You can go ahead and add your company logo. Maybe a subheading, you add your customer data, the invoice date, number, order number, due date, the dollar amount, specific items that you can do as well. Again, we don't have any items, so we'd have to add a new item. So let's just say like lawn cut. And it's one lawn cut for a price of $90 or something like that. I don't know. It will go ahead and automatically add the total here. You can also add a percentage-based discount. So you can add like a 10% off discount there, or a dollar amount discount. You can change the overall currency, and we're just going to leave it at US dollars here. You do also have advanced settings, such as, selecting a category, where you'd want it to be added to, as well as the footer and any other attachments to your invoice. Maybe if you need to add something else to your invoice as well. You can also drag these around. So if you have multiple different items, you can also add taxes. So maybe if you have, certain taxes that you have to have in your business, like a specific rate that you charge, maybe it's like a floor tax, I don't know. You can put in whatever you want, and maybe it's just like at a rate of 2. So it's a small floor tax there. You can add in little taxes and things like that as well, to certain items if you do need to do that. Here, you can also add other items to your invoices. And then you can go ahead and save it and send it to a specific customer. Now, again, we don't have the customer data in here, so I'm not going to be sending it out to anybody, but that's where you would go ahead and add the customer information. If you go ahead and add a new customer, this is where you add their name, email, phone number, tax number, currency. You can add in their address, as well as any other information, maybe a reference or their website. So you can add in your customer data there. That's what that looks like. And it's pretty simple, and you just click send, and you can send out your invoices. This will be your list of your overall customer. Now, you can import customers as well. They do also have an add-on for a CRM software. I'm not going to be getting into that in this video here today, but they do also have that as sort of like an upsell app within the accounting overall system. So they do have other apps that you can add on, such as a CRM platform. They do also have payroll expense claims. So if you're managing maybe employee expenses, maybe a business trips, like sort of like an expense management software. Again, they have more detailed inventory software, double entry if you do need that in your accounting software. Again, by default, accounting is just a single entry accounting software, which to me is a lot easier for most people getting started with accounting software. You don't necessarily need double entry unless you are looking for a balance sheet and a chart of accounts and things like that. Again, you can add that on as well as project management software. They do also have that here as well. So those are sort of additional apps that you can add into the accounting setup. Again, if you do want things beyond just like the basic setup that they do give you. In terms of your bills, so they do also have the ability to add bills here. So, this is if you, showing what you owe vendors for products and services that you purchase from them. So typically, traditionally, it's nice if vendors will just send you an invoice, but sometimes they request you to send a bill to them. It's a little extra work on your end, but that's just how they work. That's just how they operate. They request that that bills are sent, and that you then pay the bills and things like that. So it just depends on the overall customer and things like that, and how your overall business is set up. You can also do bills and vendors here for your own, products and services that you purchase from other businesses, right? If you need to send them out. Very similar to an invoice. Again, I wish all companies would just invoice you, but you can also add vendors here with bills and showing, hey, this is what I paid for a certain service. This can be good as well. Maybe if some companies, again, like I said, if they don't issue it or if they do request it, you can create them in here as well. You can list out very similarly to the invoice, the items, the description, the price, all that stuff. So that can be good for you just in terms of tracking things within your own business. If they don't issue you anything, or if they do request that you issue them a bill, even when you're the one paying for their products and services. So you can do that here and add in your vendors if you need to do that. You can do that here as well. But again, sort of just a simpler version of the invoice. Again, very similar here. You can go ahead and add in your vendors, just like adding how you would add in like a customer, contact person, things like that. So very, very similar there. Again, going back to the dashboard here, it's pretty nice how easy it is to go ahead and add in your income and expenses and track your overall cash flow. Overall, I do like the accounting setup here with their overall cash flow tracker. So you can see, month to month, your incoming and outgoing income and expenses within your business. So you can see where you're at within your business as well. Again, you can view a more detailed report as well, showing you the cash flow statement for the year. Like I showed before in the overall report section, they do have a more detailed cash flow statement as an app like you just saw. But again, like I said, with a lot of their other add-on apps, they are additional fees. If you are looking to add on, certain other apps that they do have. Again, they do have quite a bit of them, such as double entry, other things. These are not necessarily things that everybody needs. They do have some other free connections here as well, just depending on what you might want to use within the accounting setup. But in general, their reports, are pretty basic, pretty straightforward. And this is a more affordable software than maybe some other platforms out there like QuickBooks or some of the other more expensive softwares that are out there. Again, it may be a little bit more DIY with certain aspects, but some of it is nice and simple and, can just keep your life a little bit easier without having to, have constant things as far as all these other features that you might not necessarily need. So again, guys, I hope you found this tutorial and video helpful of how to get started with accounting. Again, it is a pretty easy accounting software. You can also send out invoices, accept payments, and keep track of those expenses as well in your business, and even send out bills too, which is pretty cool. So again, if you do want to check out accounting, there will be a link down below in the video description if you do want to go ahead and check out accounting. If you guys found this video helpful or enjoyed it, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that is all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.